I have a question. That when we're doing hearings, if we do them and we put them on our agenda, you know, 15-minute increments just to put them on the agenda, but we don't get to them until later, I mean, that's still legal. And if we complete things early, we get to move forward. Right?
So right now they're scheduled 45 minutes apart. So do you think half an hour apart?
Well,
unless you happen to know it's a particularly
right.
contentious or long one, yes.
Yeah, because then, I mean, then if we get through public, you know, if we have some that we go through them quicker,
right.
We're not sitting here waiting for the call.
Right.
Because now we have to wait 25 minutes.
Right.
Well, and I just will point out at 10 o'clock, it's just a continuing 255 Merriam, and the next hearing's at 10:45.
Well, that's
Well,
other
that's not a
business.
hearing at 10:45, but
It's just other business.
but we have to wait till 10 o'clock to just continue.
And then until 10:45, just do the other
And
business.
then are we sitting around?
We don't have to.
Yeah, I
No,
guess
but
I'm
then we
can
following
do other
what
business, I think,
the
anytime.
separation that's happened in the past in terms of it's usually been 45-minute increments.
Well, actually, what Joe Layden did was he squeezed them all together so that we were running constantly late.
Okay, well, I don't want to do that either
No.
because then it gets really
Well,
crazy.
of course.
Half an
So
hour, we should
why
try
don't we
half
try
hour.
half
Let's
hour?
try half.
Yeah.
Unless, again, you know
Right,
it's going to be
unless
a
I
really
know
long
it's,
one.
you know.
And we know which ones
yeah,
those are.
we know which
And
ones
do
those
we
are.
want to have hearings early in the night or no?
Well, that's what I've tried to do. I mean, usually we meet at 7:30 and then we start at 7:45. We start the hearings. So
That sounds good.
We can do this early, right? The other business, we don't actually have to wait till 10:45.
Right, we could do some of that right this moment.
Yeah, we usually do shuffle that around quite a bit.
But that doesn't get a time in that case.
Yeah, I know, it was you're right. We've never actually scheduled a time for the other business line item because that then nails us to that time.
Yeah.
That's true. You're right. We're going to be sitting here from 10 to 10:45, twiddling our thumbs.
well, but I'm not sure I agree with that because
Really?
well,
Well, it says
it's-
10:45.
It says 10:45, but it's not a public hearing.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a wiggle room. The
Well,
only
if
reason
somebody
I
came, if somebody was waiting to, if they looked at the agenda online and came in at 10:45 to look at the, you know, because for whatever reason, I mean, that's how it's set up.
right.
And then this had already happened 45 minutes before. That's the whole reason.
Right,
it
but
happened.
usually other business is
Not time.
minutes and kind of planning board loose ends more so than anything.
Right, but a lot of
scheduled.
times people actually come. Sometimes,
Like last
not all the
time, 72.
people
Wellesley.
Right.
come to listen to us to talk about the minutes, and they like to pick them up at the table.
Right.
So,
Well,
if it's not, if we don't peg a time to it, then we can shift it
Okay.
around.
Okay.
But pegging a time to it means, boom, I
But
agree with.
the problem that happens is that when you continue a hearing, you're supposed to continue it to a date and time certain.
Yeah,
So that's kind of, I mean, for example, when okay, so the last time we discussed 255 Merriam, you know, I figured that it's kind of the policy to have 45 minutes apart from each other, but obviously that can change a little bit. But you have to specify at the prior meeting a date and time certain.
yeah, the start time.
right,
Right.
but you
Well,
could-
all we're saying is don't take the 10:45 off the other business of minutes and adjournment. Take the time off that.
Okay. Okay.
And
I
then,
can do
and then
that.
we're not nailed to the time.
Okay.
and then crunch these down. And,
Yeah.
you know, if we crunch them to 30 minutes, I mean, it's, you know, then I think, I mean, I wouldn't mind crunching them all 5 minutes apart and just say, well, it won't be before then. And
But
we don't
then
have-
technically what you're supposed to do is, if you schedule a public hearing, you're supposed to open the public hearing at that specific time.
Even
So,
if you're running late.
yeah,
No. I mean, that's not how we've been doing it. if we just open it running late, but we don't do it before. That's, I mean,
Right.
that's how we've been doing
It's
it.
any time after that time. So it could be 7:45 or 7:50.
That's not how
Well, that's how
operated.
we've done it here for
Okay.
25 years.
Okay,
But we haven't been put in jail yet.
okay.
Nobody complains if you start late. They only scream bloody murder if you start early and
Right.
they've missed part of it.
So, but anyway, we're gonna try
Okay,
30
so
minutes
I'll-
apart to see
okay,
whether we can,
okay.
you know,
We
save
can
our
retake
time a
that.
little more.
While we're on the issue of minutes, I was notified,
Is this under other business?
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I figure while we're,
I know, but
In
we
the-
can't. We've got it stipulated at 10:45.
no, well, this is not to discuss and review specific minutes. This
Okay.
is to discuss
Other business.
the fact that week 3 of my employment, I was notified that Noreen Stockman, who is the CDA clerk, is supposed to be working 10 hours a week for the planning board. And so I have thought about it, have provided her with, the first task was to do minutes. And so she is viewing videos because she's unable to attend the planning board meetings. And she is doing minutes via video.
What is the last time we actually published minutes on the website?
It's been a while.
It's been like a couple of months, hasn't it?
Yes, and I'm in the process of reviewing and trying to update the minutes that were prepared by the former planner. And then I have some minutes that need to come your way, and then Noreen has finished 3 sets of minutes.
Weren't we starting to review minutes at the last meeting and then we didn't finish reviewing them?
Right.
I mean, is that something we can do now?
Well, but I think what was discussed was if I provide everybody electronic versions, the people get back to me with, or back to Noreen with changes, and then all those changes get incorporated, and then we print a final version for review. You're the only one that's provided changes to the minutes. Okay.
When did we get minutes?
There were minutes submitted about a month or
It's
so
just
ago.
at the meeting, we only got them at the meeting, I believe.
Right, there were some at the meeting, and then, but there were some submitted
Was
electronically.
that at the meeting?
Yeah.
It was.
I can give you paper copies, I can give you
That's all right,
electronic
But
copies.
I think what we
Pretty
have to
thorough.
do is, I really think, and we talked about dividing and conquering, so that we're not all doing all the
We
minutes.
did, yes.
Because there's too many, we're too far behind for everyone to be doing it. So maybe when you distribute it, you can,
Assign a person.
well, I think we would didn't we do 2 per?
We did have a rotation. Forget what the rotation was.
I think you divide them in half and give half of them to 2 people and give the other half to the other 2 people.
Half to 2 people and the other half to 2 people?
Oh wait, but there's 5 of us.
Right.
That's
As long as I'm not one of the 2
Yeah,
people,
right.
it doesn't matter.
No wonder you did,
No,
right.
wait a minute. I want that role. So.
Or you can send half of them to 3 people, the other half to 2 people, whatever.
If you guys want to know, the last 10 minutes were posted online, seems to be August 1st, 2013.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
that's not that bad.
It's awful.
That's all right. Well, it's better than I thought it was.
12.5 minutes.
2013?
Yeah.
2013?
That's what she said.
Oh, good grief.
I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
su-
terrible.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, golly. Yeah, that's terrible. Oh, my gosh, goodness.
Because,
Well, Ann has been asking me about it, and one of the last board meetings, the board said that they would take electronic copies, offer comments. So maybe what I do is I send specific sets to each member. You can comment on them, and then if you need help, flip them to somebody else.
okay, so just, so. in
So
other words-
everybody gets 5 sets, or
That's
something
Right,
like
so-
okay
that.
with me.
So each set is only reviewed by one
Right,
planning board
Yeah.
member until we look at them in the
Right,
other.
right.
Oh, that's good.
okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Divided by 5, that's better.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a year.
in this day and age where we have, you know, voice recognition software available, you can all, the rough of it can all be printed out just from, you know.
Yeah,
from
but
the
you
microphone.
realize what it
And
would
then
look
somebody
like.
goes through that to clean that up, you know,
Yeah,
to
but
make
it
it
would, you know,
functional.
a 3-page set of meeting minutes would be like 30 pages if it was just us talking for 4 hours.
And the problem is
Well,
with
that
voice,
is-
that
the
is true.
voice recognition software, I actually looked into it for something else. And, because I'm doing an oral history project with somebody, and it doesn't differentiate from people. So you have to go in and basically, you know, correct the entire document.
Or you'd have to say who was talking when
Yes,
you're talking.
yes. So,
Well, but if Noreen is doing this, she'll be able to do that while watching the video and be able to correct it that way.
well, I assume she's taking minutes using the video.
Right, but she'd be working with a raw document to then
Right.
just
right,
clean up rather than
Right.
go through it. Because, you know, going through this, she probably hears a bit and then she's, oh, what that was, go back, go forward, go back,
Right.
you know. So it might
Right.
be less time consuming is what I was thinking. But I could be wrong and you might be right, 30 minutes. I mean, it might be 30 pages.
All right, so we'll try to see if we can get some kind of system working where we actually can start publishing these. That's outrageous. A year. Oh my goodness.